Welcome everyone. Let's begin our lesson for today by going over our learning goals and success criteria. First, what are we learning? We're learning how to write functions in multiple ways and recognize function notation, how to recognize patterns in functions to determine whether or not those functions are linear, how to recognize coordinates in terms of x values and y values, how to plot points on the coordinate plane, how to recognize patterns in the graphs of linear functions, how to determine how the slope and y-intercept will affect the graph of a linear function, how to find a function value of a linear function, how to find the slope and y-intercept of a function from an equation, how to take linear functions that are not written in slope-intercept form and write them in slope-intercept form, how to graph linear functions using slope and y-intercept, how to manipulate the slope and y-intercept to change the steepness and location of a graph to suit the needs of the question, how to recognize practical applications of mathematics within your area of interest, such as basketball, how to find y-intercept of a function given the slope and a point on the line, and how to find the equation of a line given the slope and a point on the line. How are we learning it? Through the linear functions MYP assessment assignment. When could you use the information in this lesson? To recognize patterns in your spending so that you can figure out how to save enough money to buy a car, to determine the location of appliances, furniture, and walls when planning to remodel your house, to determine how long it would take you to save up enough money for a down payment on a car, to calculate the amount of money in a savings account, to change the appearance of difficult tasks so that it looks something more like what you are used to seeing, such as changing your grocery list into a list based on the aisles where you will find the items, and to improve your ability to read between the lines and fill in gaps that are not given, such as putting together a bookcase with directions that are incomplete. How do you know you learned it? By getting a score of 4 on the linear functions MYP assessment assignment. Now let's take a look at our agenda for today. We'll begin by going over our learning goals and success criteria. Then you will complete the linear functions MYP assessment, which is on Desmos. At the end of class, we'll go back over our learning goals and success criteria, and while you fill out your before you go. Your only homework is to continue working on the linear equations and inequalities study guide and fill out any missing assignments that you may have.
Let's talk now about how to sign in to Desmos to complete your work. So what we're going to do is you're going to click on the link to go to the assignment, and it should take you to a page that looks kind of like this. And right here where it says sign in with Google, we're going to click there. And it's going to pop up with our email accounts. You're going to click on your school email account, and it should already have you logged in because you should have already been logged in using Google Classroom. From there, I'm just going to click Start the Activity, and it will take me into the assignment and allow me to begin. So that's how you will log in to Desmos using Google.
Let's take a look now at the linear functions MYP assessment assignment. So it begins with our learning goals and success criteria. If we continue to scroll down, there's a link to the Desmos activity here. We'll go ahead and click on that link, and it takes us to a page that looks like this. We'll go ahead and click Start the Activity. It begins here with the learning goals and success criteria as well. We'll go ahead and click Next. Here are the instructions. This assignment will be taken on August 19, 2022. You have 45 minutes to complete the assignment. Here are your instructions. Do not open the examination until instructed to do so. You can use a calculator. You must answer all of the questions. Answers must be written within the answer boxes provided, so you'll just type your answers into the boxes provided. Unless otherwise stated in the question, all numerical answers should be given exactly or correct to 3 significant figures. What that means is you'll round to the 3rd decimal place. The maximum mark for this examination paper is 8 per section. You'll fully complete all questions for both sections. The maximum scores you can get will be given for correct answers. Where an answer is incorrect, some marks may be given for a correct method provided. This is shown by written work. Answers must be written within the answer boxes provided. Solutions found from a graphing calculator should be supported by suitable working. For example, if graphs are used to find a solution, you should sketch these as part of your answer. So from that, now we can go ahead and click Next, and this will take you to your assignment. So to begin the assignment, you're given the scenario that you're trying to buy a car that is $21,500 and you currently make $2,000 per month. You're going to answer the questions about how you can buy the car. So the first question says, what is the correct parent function that would be needed to determine the amount you would pay each month for your car? The second one says to state the equation you would use to determine how many months it would take you to save up. The third question asks you to solve using the equation you created in answer 2. Then we'll go ahead and click next. Now we're going to change the scenario just a bit and say that the cost of the car is the same, but you only make $2,000, but you still have to pay $1,500 in bills before you can buy the car. So you're going to state how many months it would take you to save up to buy the car outright. So you write the equation, solve it, and then for the last question it says, well, what if instead we only had to come up with a portion of the car? So what if we had to finance half of it? Which means that you're going to save up to put a down payment of half the value of the car. So how long would that take you? So you'd go ahead and put that there. Then for the next one, we're looking at a graph that represents the depreciation of the car. Depreciation means once you have already bought the car, its value starts to drop. So you're going to answer these questions about the depreciation of the car. So the first one says, state the dependent variable of the function. The next one says, state the initial value of the car. So how much was it worth initially? Write the value of the car after 14 years. Determine the rate of depreciation. So how fast is the value dropping? State the equation that represents the value of the car depending on the year, and determine the number of years it would take for the car's value to reach 0. So when would it reach 0? Lastly, you're going to be asked to explain how we can use slope-intercept form and some of those concepts that we've learned in this unit to answer questions. So in this one it says, explain the process for finding the slope of a linear function when given 2 points. It says use the word bank to assist. So these are our words. And it says you must use at least 4 words from the word bank in your response. Use the check boxes to check the 4 terms that were used. So you're going to write out your answer in the box below, and you need to use at least 4 of these words from here. So I'll answer with those 4 words, and then check the boxes of the words that were used. For the next one, it says, describe how finding the slope of a linear function can be used to make future predictions about data. So how can using a linear function help you to predict what could happen in the future? It says, use the checkboxes to mark the 4 terms that you use. You need to use at least 4 as well, and answer this. And you need to reference slide 5 in your response. So slide 5 was this one with the car depreciation. Once you're done with all these questions, you'll go back to your Google form, you'll click next, and then fill out your before you go. Once you're done with your before you go, you can submit your assignment on Google Classroom.